Hey guys, it's Claire from Clairified Creations, and today I'm going to be sharing my favorite spots on campus at the University of Tennessee. If you've never met me before, I go to the University of Tennessee Knoxville and I'm a sophomore majoring in nursing. So I wanted to create this video to share some of the things I've learned over the past couple years. I'm going to be sharing my favorite spots from 3 categories. Number 1 is studying, number 2 is relaxing, and number 3, of course, is eating. I feel like as a freshman or even a high school senior, you're always told to go to the library. Most people go to Hodges Library, which is the center of campus at UT, and it's the biggest library. I believe we have around 5 libraries at UT, but this is definitely the most crowded. Although Hodges can be very convenient, I don't necessarily recommend going to Hodges to study unless you guys pick to go into the individual study rooms. The study room is basically what it sounds like. It's a room where you close the door and you have your own little area to study with, and I think this is great because a lot of them have whiteboards, but it's not always the best idea unless you get there really early, because otherwise the study rooms are pretty much all taken by like mid-morning, midday, especially around finals times. My favorite spot to study is actually Pendergrass Library. Now it's definitely a lot smaller than Hodges, but I kind of like the homey feel. It's not as gigantic and easy to get lost in. It's basically just one big room and you go into it and it just feels so much more welcoming. Also with Pendergrass, there's a couple other really nice study areas, and I definitely prefer those over Hodges because the whiteboards are super big, so you have plenty of space to write on, and their chairs are a lot comfier because mostly in Hodges they'll just provide you with the standard wooden chairs, and after a while those can really start to hurt your back, especially after spending all day at the library studying. Now if you want a more scenic area to kind of spread out, and if the weather is cooperating, you never know with Tennessee weather. One minute it can be raining, the next minute it can be snowing. But if the weather is nice, I'd highly recommend making a trek up to Ayers Hill. Now they call it the hill for a reason because it is a very big hill. It's the highest point on campus. They have a ton of different benches spread out by Ayers Hall, so you can kind of just pick where you go and you can just study there. They don't really have tables set up, at least from what I'm remembering. If you're just going there to, casually review some notes, you have about an hour before classes. It's perfect to get some exercise by going up the hill, and it's also really nice to just kind of look out at the scenery because I'm telling you, it is gorgeous up there. Another place you can go to study is the Student Union. The Student Union is kind of located towards the middle of campus as well, so another perfect option if you are around that area. It's right next to the library, so you can't miss it, but if you go up on the floors, there's actually multiple levels, and it took me almost a year of me being there to discover there's actually little seating areas up there, which is super nice. They have comfy chairs, comfy couches, a few tables. That is a perfect spot if you want to spend some time with your friends, and it's also a little bit more secluded. Finally, the last area that I have for you guys for studying is the Jesse Harris building. Now I bet a lot of you guys probably haven't even heard of this building because it's one of the older ones on campus, and it is the direct opposite. It is super duper secluded. I had a class at Jesse Harris my spring semester of freshman year, so I would go down to the basement, and guys, it is such a beautiful building. It has so much charm. The woodwork is everywhere, and the basement has a small little room that you can go and study. There's a few chairs, there's a vending machine, so it has really everything you need, and the best part is very few people know about this unless you frequently visit that building. So if you're looking for a quiet place that isn't used very much and most people don't know about, go check out the Jesse Harris building because that will really help you out. Now that we've covered studying, you're going to want to take some time to relax. With every student, college can be really stressful, so it's important to take some time to just kind of de-stress. Now the first place that you're definitely not going to want to miss, especially if you guys are living on campus, is go visiting the UT Gardens. The UT Gardens are towards the Ag campus, so they are on the far end of campus, but this is such a beautiful spot. Probably the prettiest spot on campus, especially in the summer/fall when everything is changing. It is gorgeous, you guys. You get to see all the beautiful flowers. There's a little trail you can walk around, and best of all, there's places to sit down, and there's some areas that are covered, so you can really feel like you're isolated from campus. If you want to take some time, just have a nice walk and clear your head. Next is any academic building, especially if you just want to get out of the dorms and just take a little walk. Strong Hall and the chemistry building, those are really good places to just kind of sit down. If you have a 15-minute in between classes and you don't want to go in quite yet, or there's another class, find a spot and lounge and just take a breath and you will get through it. The next couple are also depending on the weather, but these are definitely places you don't want to miss. So it is green space. UT has a lot of green space available, so highly recommend taking advantage of that. There's areas by Magnolia Hall and Orange where you can sit down, and they have these little picnic tables. So that's a nice spot if you're not wanting to walk all the way to the UT Gardens. If you're feeling a bit more adventurous and want a ton of green space, a lot of area to spread out, go check out the HSS Amphitheater. It is seriously amazing, especially like on those cooler days, the fall, the crisp colors of everything. There's a giant area of grass that you could just spread out, and a ton of students like to go here. Finally, the last place you can go to relax is the game rooms. Game rooms are at the student union or at most of the residence halls, so I lived in Orange Hall. I have a video all about that linked up here for you guys if you want to check that out. But there are so many different places that you can go and just play games, which is super cool. So my favorite was playing ping pong. There's video games, especially at the student union. That is probably where they have the best ping pong table, the best pool table, best video games. It is a great little area to just kind of go and forget about all the things that you have to do. While you're on campus, you're gonna have to eat. If you guys are looking for a tasty snack or a tasty treat to kind of reward yourself, getting through midterms, getting through exams, or even just getting through a Monday, these are the places you should go. Before I tell you all the places, I did want to mention a couple places that are pretty popular at UT. Those are Chick-fil-A and Starbucks. Now I wanted to say that Chick-fil-A is a hit or miss if you go on an off hour, so around 3 to 4 is a good time to go, or Starbucks. There really isn't a time that Starbucks isn't busy unless you go to the one at Stokely or the student union at a really odd time. Guys, those lines, you can be waiting an hour in line. I've seen people wait 30 minutes to an hour, and that is just not worth it. If you guys do want to go to Starbucks or Chick-fil-A, definitely go on an off hour unless you don't mind waiting for a while. And also, to get the best quality, the Chick-fil-A at the student union and the PCB are probably about equal, so it really doesn't matter. If you want a faster experience, I'd probably recommend the Chick-fil-A at Presidential Court Building. For Starbucks, like I said, Stokely or the student union are your best bets. Don't even go to the library unless there is basically no line. I have experienced a lot of trouble with the library Starbucks because it's definitely the most crowded, because you know, a lot of people go to the library to study and they get Starbucks at the library. But if you want good quality coffee, I would not even think about going there, because just based on my experiences, I haven't had the best ones with that Starbucks. So the unhealthy snack options, there's Ray's Place, and that is all the way up on the hill. It's a small little restaurant that does not take vol cards, so that is something to remember. You cannot use your vol card. It's either cash or your debit card, credit card, whatever you pay with. Just you can't use dining dollars or anything like that. But they have the best double chocolate chip muffins, you guys, and they're huge. They're so tasty. Every time after microlab, I would go in there and reward myself. Ray's Place has really good bakery items for around $2 or $3. But guys, if you're tired of that dining hall food, they have really good muffins, and they can cheer you up after a bad microlab session. Next is Rising Roll at the Student Union. If you haven't checked out the Student Union, there is a ton of different restaurant options. There's a lot more than, you know, Chick-fil-A, Panda Express. Rising Roll is a bit of an alternative, healthier option, so I didn't forget about anybody that wants to eat a little bit healthier. They have really good sandwiches. I think I got the drip sandwich, something drip sandwich. I'm gonna put up what I'm trying to say up here. But it was really good, and you can get like chips and a drink with that. So it's a little bit better than the fast food options that they offer. They also have soups, chicken noodle soup. I would not recommend the chicken noodle soup though, but you know, there's a ton of different options. They also have smoothies, so it is a bit more of a healthier sit-down restaurant if you're looking for that. If you guys are looking for a tasty, unique treat, definitely check out Twisted Taco at Brown Hall. They make the best churros, and oftentimes they'll make them fresh for you. You'll just come in, you have to wait maybe 5 minutes, but guys, they're really, really yummy. It's piping hot, and I'd also recommend the caramel sauce. If you're getting churros, you might as well go all out and get the caramel sauce too. They cost about $2, I think, somewhere around there, maybe $1.65. You get one churro, but it's about this big. Speaking of tasty, the last thing I have to mention to you guys is Mabel's. Mabel's is on the Ag campus, at least the one I've been to, and these cinnamon rolls are so good. They're about that big, and if you guys go to Mabel's, you have to get there early, so right when they open, you gotta be one of the first people, because oftentimes they will run out of cinnamon rolls within minutes. They have a ton of frosting on it, it's warm, it's delicious, it's everything you'd ever want in a cinnamon roll. So guys, that's everything that I have for my best spots on campus, my personal favorites. If you guys go to UT and you have a favorite spot that I didn't mention, definitely leave that down below in the comments, and I'd love to chat with you guys. You are loved.